Good morning, welcome to Insiders. Well, as one journalist put it, the Abbott government this week turned the border protection issue from a molehill into a mountain. The standoff between Australia and Indonesia over the fate of 63 asylum seekers was finally resolved, but only after the government backed down to Indonesia and took the group to Christmas Island. And in the process, the government's turn back the boats policy failed an early test. And so too did its media strategy. It was the Indonesians who told the Australian public what was going on.
People are entitled to ask whatever question they want at those briefings. Not only is the Minister on hand to address issues, but you've got General Campbell, the Commander of Operation Sovereign Borders, on hand. They are happy to answer questions as fully as they can.
The overnight incident, what's become of that boat of asylum seekers?
I will not comment further in relation to on-water matters. Thank you.
General, this is of great public interest.
I will not comment further in relation to on-water matters.
Have they been...
I will not comment further in relation to on-water matters. I think we've dealt with that question.
But in terms of making a judgment, if those asylum seekers do come to Australia, doesn't that mean that your turn back to boats policy is kind of...
Well, you've made a whole bunch of presumptions there which I'm not about to speculate.
Well, maybe you can clear them up for us.
Well, you're the one making the presumptions, not me.
Is it the case that the overnight incident is not resolved and that's why more information is not forthcoming?
It's an ongoing operational matter and the persons that were at risk have all been accounted for. We're not going to go into the micro detail of these operational matters. What we are saying is that we rendered assistance and all the people have been accounted for. So we can go around this for a lot longer, but that is the position.
The goading and the arrogance of Scott Morrison, where he just pours mullock on journalists. By doing that, you're saying you don't care if the voters are informed or not. You can't do that. That's, as I said yesterday, that's disgusting, that attitude. And when people like Scott Morrison give us the finger when we ask tough questions, we've got to shine a light on that and expose it because it's not acceptable.
And the government's problems were compounded because it chose to take on Indonesia at a time when the government there is already angry over claims that Australia is spying on them. And on that topic, information is scarce as well.
Australia's ambassador refused to either confirm or deny reports his embassy's been used for intelligence operations.
We will have to assume that such activities are taking place.
I do not intend to discuss intelligence matters in the media.
Our exhibit.
Certainly I'm not going to start commenting on intelligence issues.
It's long-standing practice of Australian governments not to do so, and I'll be adhering to them.
When a problem comes along, you must zip it.
I'm certainly not going to discuss specific intelligence matters, so thank you for your question.
Zip it good.
They should be able to say, henceforth, they are not going to do it anymore.
Julie Bishop has travelled to Indonesia for the Bali Democracy Forum.
We have a very close and cooperative relationship.
In light of the spy stories, Jakarta's going to review the intelligence sharing agreements it has with Canberra about people smugglers.
From day one, there have been very negative attitudes from this government towards Jakarta, trying to lay down the law.
The recent revelations will have potentially damaging impact.
No one would make that connection.
After the election, he had to go on his sorry tour around the region. Oh, terribly sorry, didn't really mean all that, had to say it for border security, domestic politics reasons.
The bilateral cooperation in areas such as counter-terrorism and people smuggling, which is of enormous mutual benefit to both countries.
In just a few months, misstep after misstep has meant that our relationship is much weaker today.
Now the Indonesians are facing an election and you're going to see a lot more standing up to Australia.
Zip.
First, Indonesia said it was angry about Australian and US spying. Next came Malaysia.
The Prime Minister of East Timor has taken a swipe at foreign surveillance.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, Exhibit A.
Julie Bishop now has to repair some of the damage that she's contributed to in recent months.
Enough is enough.